Welcome back. We continue on our study through the book of Genesis. We left off in chapter 8, where we see the world emerging after the devastating flood. Genesis 9 is God's promise to a fallen world. The big idea of Genesis 9 is God preserves life and promises mercy in a world still affected by sin. Let's begin Genesis 9 from verse 1. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth and upon every bird of the heavens, upon everything that creeps on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. And as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. For your lifeblood I will require a reckoning. From every beast I will require it, and from man. From his fellow man I will require a reckoning for the life of man. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed, for God made man in his own image. And you, be fruitful and multiply, increase greatly on the earth and multiply it. All right, let's pause here in verse 7. So God reaffirms the value of human life. And this is important because the whole world has just been cleansed. Millions died in the flood. And only Noah and his family survived. And to Noah, God promises all these things and reaffirms to him the value of human life. He tells him, be fruitful and multiply. Remember, this is an echo of what he told Adam and Eve. He gives Noah and all his descendants authority over animals. He restores the authority over the animals. He permits meat for food, but blood is forbidden. Why is that? Because life belongs to God and life is in the blood. Human life is sacred. It is important to God because we are all made in God's image. And God, you see here, he establishes accountability for murder. He shows in these verses that human life matters deeply to God. And he wanted to emphasize this point to Noah, who has just witnessed the complete eradication of humanity as a consequences of sin. Then God said to Noah, verse 8, and to his sons with him, Behold, I establish my covenant with you. And just as a reminder, covenant means promise or agreement. All right. Behold, I establish my covenant with you and your offspring after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and every beast of the earth with you. As many as came out of the ark, it is for every beast of the earth. I establish my covenant with you, that never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood, and never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. Let's pause. All right. So God establishes an unconditional covenant, an unconditional promise. And that means this promise God is making to Noah is not based on anything Noah will do. It's not based on any action on the part of humanity. It is based on the faithfulness of God and not human obedience. Also, this covenant is to his descendants and all creation. Based on this promise, God says, never again will I destroy all flesh by flood. This is based on God's faithfulness and not human obedience. The truth here is the world is sustained by God's promises and not by human obedience. It's because God is faithful that the world is sustained. Verse 12, and God said, "This is a sign of the covenant that I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all future generations. I have set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth, and the bow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant that is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth." God said to Noah, "This is a sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth." All right, let's pause. What are we reading here? The rainbow is a sign of mercy. It's a visible sign of the covenant, of the promise that God has made to Noah and all his descendants. It says to us, God remembers his promises. It says to us that mercy will always restrain judgment. It says to us that God chooses mercy over total destruction. Verse 18. The sons of Noah who went forth from the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These three were the sons of Noah, and from these the people of the whole earth were dispersed. Noah began to be a man of the soil, and he planted a vineyard. He drank of the wine and became drunk, and lay uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. Then Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned backward, and they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah woke from his wine and knew what his youngest son had done to him, he said, all right, let me just pause here real quick. Noah's drunkenness shows us clearly here that even after the flood, sin still persists. We see it in Noah's drunkenness. We see it in Ham's dishonor of his father. Even though the flood cleansed the earth, the human heart was not cleansed, pointing to our need for redemption. We cannot save ourselves. This is established clearly in Genesis. We need a redeemer. Blessed be Christ who became our redeemer. Verse 25, "Cursed be Canaan," said Noah. "A servant of servants shall he be to his brothers." He also said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. All the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Blessings, consequences, and God's redemptive plan begin to take shape here. And why do we know this? Because we know the nation of Israel emerges from Japheth. But that's for study for another day. Canaan, of course, is cursed. And just as an FYI, but this is a study for another day, Ham is not cursed. His son Canaan is cursed. The descendants of Ham's settled in what is the current Middle East. That's a study for another day. Shem, of course, is blessed. He is the line of promise. not Japheth, is a line of promise. It's through Shem that the nation of Israel emerges. We know Abram emerges from this line. We see clearly that God works through generations. And the truth we glean here is God advances his redemption despite human failure. Now, our teaching takeaway here from Genesis 9 is Genesis 9 shows a faithful God who preserves a broken world while preparing the way for ultimate redemption, pointing to our Lord Jesus Christ. We pick up next week, chapter 10, with the nations that descend from Noah. I welcome you to join me. Shalom. See you next week.